What is a silk press and what is a blowout? How's it different from a blow dryer and a flat iron? What does it mean? What's good, everybody? 'Tis the season, and I'm not talking about the holidays. This time of year is the best time of year to smooth out your waves, curls, and coils if you're going to do it, because while the temperatures are dropping, so is the humidity, and our styles actually last much more than they would in the summer. But what is the best way for you to smooth out your hair? A silk press or a blowout? Hi, I'm Mains by Mel, your main girl Mel. If you don't know me, I'm a professional hairstylist, and today I'm here to share the differences between the two different techniques and explain which technique will be best for your hair texture. This right here is a damage-free zone. It's also a judge-free zone. Although I am a curl enthusiast, I do not care if you want to straighten out your hair. I just want you to do it correctly. Let's get to it. Now, did I say I wasn't talking about the holidays? Because I lied. The season is rapidly approaching, and as a Dyson partner, I got first dibs on their newest exclusive limited edition holiday hair tools. Every single year, Dyson comes out with limited edition hot tools with a special color scheme, and the copper last year had me in a chokehold. So now that paired with this dark, deep navy blue is literally everything. I hate to say this, besties, I spoke too soon because after I filmed this video, the Supersonic in the holiday edition did sell out. Are we surprised? But thankfully, it does come in many different colors that you can also get. But the good news is the Corel is still available. For now. It probably won't be for long. The finish is matte, the design is sleek on top of the most advanced hair tools I've ever used and have been using for several years. I would definitely recommend that if you've been thinking about investing in a Dyson hair tool, that you check out this limited edition collection. Because with these, you also get a bundle of things. You get a carrying case, accessories. I will put the link to where you can find these in the description box below so you can check it out there. Thank you to my friends at Dyson for partnering with me on this video. Alright, since I am going to be doing both of these services on myself, I am just going to prep my hair. Heat protection is non-negotiable, but even before that, prepping the hair, including a good, thorough wash, is super important before either of these treatments, because if you're flat ironing dirty hair, well, it's gross and it's not going to give you the result that you're looking for. So make sure you've given yourself a really good wash and conditioning treatment, and then apply your heat protection. Now, this is also a leave-in conditioner that has heat protection. This is the Nutriplenish leave-in conditioner from Aveda. So while I am blow drying and brushing through my hair, it's going to help give me slip and just nourish and protect my strands. That's one of the biggest ways that you can prevent damage doing all of this. Okay, perfect. So now this is going to be my silk press side. I'm going to start with the blow dry, not blow out. Is that all confusing? Let's talk about what the difference between a silk press and a blowout is, as I am blow drying my hair. I'm just going to be using the wide tooth comb attachment on the Dyson because I want to get a nice smooth result, but I also want low tension because while our hair is wet, it is in a more fragile state. And a wide tooth comb is going to be nice and gentle, and also just leave one hand free. Sweet. 5 minutes later, here we are. Effortless. I love ya! But I don't love how this looks. Yeah. So obviously, I have a very fine texture, and with really fine strands, while the hair is the most delicate, the most fragile, it also tends to be the most poofy because it's so airy and it just doesn't naturally have enough weight to weigh it down. Now, besides this looking very floofy, it's also not going to have any longevity on my hair texture because fine hair and, of course, color-treated hair is very high porosity. It wants to absorb moisture in the air because there are cracks and holes in the cuticle, and this is going to make your hair more prone to kind of reverting back to its natural texture or just getting very frizzy. And so if you want a sleek look, you need to seal it in, and that's what a silk press is going to do. Remember, a silk press is the service, whereas a flat iron is usually just the tool. So now that we blow dried the hair, let's add the silk. I need it. Today I'll be using the Olaplex number 7 bonding oil because it is super lightweight and it's going to give me the Olaplex protection. Also heat protection. Also smells amazing. I love it. My hair tends to swallow oil whole. I put it on, where it should go, and that's what's going to help to give my hair that shine, that protection, and also that humidity prevention. Please excuse the sunlight, but at least we know that daylight is on my side. All right, and now we've added the silk, it's time to press But I'm gonna give my hair a couple minutes in between and do the blowout. Mostly because I might start sweating and then it's just gonna sweat out my roots and I don't want to have to go back in. So we're just going to gently give this side a bit of a break and get into more pressing matters. When doing a blowout on curly hair, like if your hair has texture, you need to start on wet hair. The hair needs to be wet to start, because if the hair already starts drying, look, before I put this on, I've got to add a little bit of water. Once the hair starts to dry, the hydrogen bonds that create the shape that our hair kind of lays in for the style start to already form, and you don't want to have to reset them with extreme heat afterwards. So starting on wet hair lets you put that style in place beforehand, so that's all it knows. Don't let your hair dry curly, because your blowout is not going to work. But today I'm going to apply the same products on both sides, so this is just the same leave-in that I used, but you can use additional products for a blowout, like for example a styling foam, because that'll help give your blow dry a little bit more hold without using too much hairspray afterwards. We're going to keep it simple, silly here today. So now for the blowout, I'm going to be using a ceramic round brush. I like using ceramic tools for blow dries because they do absorb heat. Make sure you're using your heat protection. But that extra heat is going to help make the hair extra sleek. I am also going to change the attachment on my supersonic to the concentrator nozzle so I can direct all the air where it needs to go onto my hair. Let us begin with tension in the roots. We start from the roots, work our way down. Now for a blowout, for it to hold, you do want to let it cool in the brush or use the cool air setting on your blow dryer, because now letting the hair cool in this position is what's really going to help it to kind of hold the curl. But if I want to prevent it from continue curling, I am going to set the blow dry sections in rollers. These are just your basic Velcro rollers, which, maybe they're not so basic. Maybe if you're new to this, you should be very careful when using sticky Velcro things like this on your hair. Don't get them stuck. They will hurt. And I'm gonna let these sit in for the duration of my blow dry and even longer. I'm gonna use all the time I can to let these sit in and set in place. And haircut is another thing to consider if you're going to like a blowout or a flat iron. Without layering like I have, a blow dry is not going to look the same, because without the varying lengths of hair that layers give you, you're not going to get all of this curl and all of this bounce. Your hair is going to be heavier, more flat at the roots. It's going to be harder to get more body throughout, but you can get a curl on the ends, so there's still hope. But truly the magic of a blowout comes from layers. Oh, that looks good. Okay. Finally. Obviously, it takes much longer to blow out the hair, but alas, let's get into pressing this hair. Finally, I'm going to use my Corel cordless because it really shouldn't take you much time once you smoothed out your hair. And you also shouldn't be going over each section more than a few times. Now I can turn it on and select my heat settings. There are 3 different heat settings with this flat iron. I'm going to use the middle heat setting. So the lowest heat setting, I don't get enough press on the hair. And then the highest heat setting, well, it's too hot. It's not necessary for me to use on my fine texture. But if you have coarse, resistant hair, then you do want to use the hottest temperature on your iron. She is now ready. And now I'm going to flat iron my hair. Now the silk press, again, the silk press is the whole service. So while we've gone ahead and we've prepped the hair and we added the products, we've done all of that, this is where things are pretty universal. This is how you should be flat ironing or straightening out really any hair texture for minimal damage. So you want to get in right at the root where it is kinkiest first, and then you want to pass through. Now I try to keep my hair in the center of the flat iron plates as well. That way we can get even heat distribution throughout the entire section. If you're not using the Corel, then how you flat iron is going to be a little bit different. You kind of have to do this chasing method in order to get even heat throughout. But because the Corel has these copper flexing plates, they surround the hair entirely. And so with one swift motion, I can just go over my hair to create this really sleek shape. And that's one section done. I'm going to continue doing this all the way up my head. These section sizes are quite small. I don't want them to be bigger than 1/2 inch. That is also going to help us get the smoothest results possible. A super important element of the silk press and flat iron is having that comb with you. You can either use a comb, you can also use a brush. Some people like to use a bristle brush because, I mean, with bristles, you're going to have a lot more tension on the hair, which is going to keep the hair a lot more sleek. But using a comb is just fine. Just make sure it is a carbon comb. This is a YS Park comb. And this is important so that the comb does not melt. And here she is, flat ironed, silk pressed. My Corel still has about half of its battery life left, which sounds about right because I've been able to complete my entire head using my Corel without having to recharge it. However, every time I put it down, if I had the charging dock plugged in, it would start charging. Or I could just keep the cord in. But if the thing is cordless, I'm gonna use it. But there is even an extra step that we could do, similar to how I have this side up in rollers. A lot of the times when getting a professional silk press, the hair will get wrapped around your head, brushed smooth, similar to a 2B, wrapped all the way around your head to let it sit and stay like that. And that's just gonna give you even longer lasting results. One of the #1 benefits to a silk press, the longevity. Now let's see how poofy she's gonna be over here. It's time to get the full effect, the side by side. I'm gonna take a couple drops of my oil serum on my hands. This is just gonna help to prevent any frizz and flyaways so there's no friction between my hair and my hands. Ooh. And here we have the finished results. This is the blowout. Obviously, the silk press. Two very different looks that both look fabulous. However, while I do love the blowout, as I mentioned, on fine hair that is very porous, the curls that you see here may stay very well. However, if the hair is very dry and damaged, it may not have as much shine, and you may also need touch-ups throughout the week. The style may not have as much longevity. But as a pro, because I didn't use a flat iron on the roots and on the hair, the blowout side will not get as greasy as fast. And that's because there's so much more volume up here. The hair isn't as sleek as the silk press side. Therefore, my natural oils won't be able to travel down the hair shaft as fast. This may not be a problem if you have naturally dry hair and roots and your scalp just doesn't get super oily. But if it does, then you may notice that a silk press, these silky roots will get very shiny. And without layers, I think a flat iron looks better. Sometimes a flat iron can look a little bit funky on like very layered hair. You can definitely appreciate the layering with a little more body and curl into the hair, which you can still do with a silk press. You can still create curls with a flat iron to even give you a blowout look, but with a completely different tool. That is also a completely different type of styling, which maybe we'll do in the next heat styling video. I'll share with you how to do flat iron curls. But until then, let me know which team you are on. Are you a blowout or a silk press type of person? Don't ask me because I love both, but I also love body. So I think I will be curling this at a later date. But anyways, if you liked today's video, please do give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful. I also love when you comment below what your favorite tip was because it makes me happy knowing that I can teach you something new about your hair and how to take care. While you are down there, remember you can find all the links to the Dyson Supersonic and the Dyson Corel limited edition holiday tools and bundles in the description box below, as well as links to all the other products that I used today. Thank you to my friends at Dyson for partnering with me on this video yet again, and thank you so much for watching. I love ya! This has been your main girl Mel with a smaller mane than usual, and I am out. Peace! I'm hot. Sun freaking beaming. Sun is just really not helping me right now. I'm sweating. It's fine. It's not fine. This is why I didn't flat iron here. I am not playing. Ugh. Let's just hope I don't blow a fuse plugging this in here. A lot of power going on in here. A lot of air control. Back at it again. Amanda! Why haven't you come to look at me yet? Because sometimes I feel like an only child. Oh my god. I'm lopsided. Can I
guess which side's which? This is the silk press side, and this is the blowout.
You really have a gift, babe. You really have a gift. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks. Bye!
Bye!